My name's Mohsin, and I'm joined here by Ben from Clovercam and Amanda from Clovercam as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's just see. Not many people have joined yet, but it's all good. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Ben, for doing this, and also you guys. I remember we're doing a talk maybe about a month ago or so, and you mentioned it to me then, and I thought it was really funny. And it's great that within a month it's been pulled off, and every single hour in this 24 hours has been filled up, and I'm very lucky to have got the 11 o'clock slot, which is the next. So I'm very thankful for all that. But in this hour, sorry,
you were the first booking.
I was the first booking. I was the one who says yes straight away. I think because it was a Sunday and it's not during the week, I was like, yeah, I can do it. I can, I can easily fill up an hour. I can fill up a couple of hours, like to start talking. Oh, someone else has just said hello. So how this is going to work, guys, is obviously because this is not a typical Zoom where everyone can speak. It's just going to be me, Amanda, and Ben. But we're going to be looking at the Q&A, and we're going to be looking at the chats. And if anyone wants to come on the screen, I can definitely invite you. So that's not a problem. But if you guys have got any questions, just put it in the Q&A. It can be anything at all. It can be anything about denim history. It could be anything about my studio. It could be anything like show me a machine, show me this, show me that, and I'll just pull it out and show you. So it's go, oh, hi there, everyone. Okay, cool. So Ben's already started. Yeah. Let me just get the Q&A up. So guys, have you got any questions for me to like kick off? Obviously, I've got some fillers, so it's all good if you get stuck.
Do you want to go first, Amanda?
Yeah, I'll go first. I want to know your desert island pack. Like, what book would you take? What jeans would you take? And what album would you play?
Oh, okay. So let's do the book first. It's for me, it's very easy. For 1 second.
I was going to ask what favourite book.
I actually this month on my Denim History channel did a book club, and I just finished it, and I think I might carry it on because I did every day I posted a denim book, which I thought was really special because so many students ask me, and I teach as well, right? I teach at 4 different colleges, and more than 200 to 300 students every year I teach, and they always ask me, what's your favorite book? And I have to give a reading list. And this book is one of them that I always put. So Jeans of the Old West from Michael Allen Harris, complete dude. If it wasn't for this guy, some things we wouldn't know about, actually, to be honest. And what's amazing about it is that him and his wife and his father-in-law, they go down, and he's like, he's just a complete fanatic, and he goes down mines and he gets into really tricky and quite weird spots actually. But he's found some pieces that even Levi's didn't even knew existed. So but because I think it was 1906, I believe, in like San Fran had a massive earthquake and Levi's lost their entire archive. They're one of the only companies back then who kept every single piece of what they did. And they lost it all. So even all their historical records, they don't even bless them. They don't even know what the arcuette even means. Their logo, the main back pocket stitch. Could be Golden Gate Bridge, it could be Eagle, but they don't really know. But it's not about that. But he's found pieces that are missing, and people like him and Britt Eaton, there's a few others as well, like sort of like Victor Fredback. There's a couple of them who literally have found some amazing pieces, and you can still find them because denim is really interesting because everyone always thinks it was fitted, and why are they being left down gold mines or silver mines? It's because these things were overalls. They were slightly bigger than what you would wear. You put them on, you do your work, and you take them off and you hang them up in the mine. So a lot of these amazing pieces have been found still in mines in their same state. So yeah, this will be the book. Obviously you ask Amanda as well. I have to go downstairs and get some samples. Actually, maybe I should give it a little while I'm doing it. But I'll give a little tour. It's really fun. So, hi all for panel. So no questions yet, which is there is some chats.
Everybody's saying hi.
Are they all just saying hi?
The ice just needs breaking. I've actually got a question for you relating to what you've just said about that book, Mohsin.
Yeah.
When we did a Levi's history event at the store with Phil, he had different samples and different pictures, and he said a lot of what they find, they noticed that the left-hand side of the leg, as in if you stood wearing them, is worn out, and he said, and we don't really know why that is.
And I always skewed.
No, like literally like worn out, like it might only have a right leg, for example, and Surely that's because everybody's right-handed. So in mind, they lean on the left-hand side.
Well, it could be. It could be anything. It could be anything because obviously genes leave an imprint. They leave memory of what the person's wearing. You know, I remember I did a gene for a famous photographer called Nick Knight, and he told me he's always taking photographs. He's a photographer, so one of his knees is always on the floor. So that knee always got worn out really fast. So if things are worn away in certain areas, you can work out what they were doing, or at least make an assumption of what they were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. That's what's amazing about denim is it leaves the imprint, and you can, you know, I found garments in a market, I found garments in Bangkok, and we've worked out exactly what that person was doing when he was wearing these jeans, and that's what's remarkable about denim, and it's all because of the way it's been dyed. So, because obviously the core of the yarn is still white, so you know, it just leaves like an imprint of you, so which is quite amazing. That's what's like sort of like unique, and they only dye denim like that because it's actually was a very convenient and cheap way of dyeing because you didn't have to use the whole dye to do the whole yarn. So they only did the ring dyeing method. So it's just, they were trying to save money, but that's what, in result, that's what we all wear now. That's why chinos and those other hunter garments, they don't wear down as nicely because they're not dyed in the same way how denim is. So yeah. Anyway, let me give you a little tour and find this pant or find this garment that Amanda asked me to. So yes, okay. Ooh. So this is actually where I work. It's a bit messy today because obviously I've been quite busy. I've been really slow.
Wow.
A lot of people complain that you're too fast, Mohsin, and you don't show what you're doing. So that's a darning machine. That's a Unispecial 43200G. It's a really amazing G-kit that can handle up to 30 ounce. These are some banners. You can't be a denim designer without having banners. And this is some of my book collection that I featured this month. Okay, I'm going now. It's more of my archive there. My wife's walking up the stairs. Hey, sir.
You're right. How you doing?
Let me just, this is Sadia's studio, bless her, where she works. She's been cutting loads of videos for the guys at 10 Cell the last couple of days. And,
yours is a typical man's.
Is there somewhere like, illustrated? Anyway, I'll take you downstairs now. So, of course, lots of denim stuff everywhere, lots of banners. And then let's find some nice denim, some pieces that you asked me about. What would be my desert island piece? So this is one of my rooms. I've got a couple of rooms in this house full of machines and workshops. This is my other workshop. More amazing machines. Cornelli machine, a triple needle chain stitch machine, a double needle 1/8 chain stitch machine, a triple needle 3/16 machine, which is absolutely epic if any of you know what that means. 2 different bar tacks, Reese 101, all good, lots of denim dogs and cats, everyone needs those. But let's sit this down and I'll give you a little, sorry, it's a bit dark in here, there we go. Oh, right. Piece that I think is amazing is this piece here. This is the 1874 blouse, Levi's blouse. This is actually the piece that started with the whole trucker jacket thing. So everyone always talks about trucker jackets at type 1, type 2, type 3. For me, it's this guy, really amazing. And Michael Allen Harris actually found one. It's one of the oldest ones that the state's found. And Levi's now own it in their archive, which is really, really cool. So that would be probably one of my desert island ones. And another one, actually, I'm really, well, let's get the light here. I'm really into researching super duper old stuff, and even stuff that predates Levi's, if that's any kind of, you know, respectful thing to say. Because denim just didn't appear out of nowhere. It just happened, but it was obviously a tailor called Jacob Davis who made the first pant and the rest of it. So I'm looking at really old tailoring from the 1840s and 1830s now. So what influenced what we wear now? It's quite fun.
Candiani speech is about the history of the denim fabric up until the 5-pocket jean. So that'll be really interesting.
Well, the earliest recorded fabrics that they actually Levi's was using was a duck canvas. So it wasn't a 3x1 and it wasn't indigo, it was duck. So the very first jean, even on that patent drawing from May 20th, 1873, was a duck. So it wasn't indigo yet. So that's fun thing. Fun little fact. So I'm looking at super duper old stuff at the moment. So stuff with a split back yoke and waistband, you know, lovely cinch buckles. You know, these are the kind of things that I get super excited about, especially all the dart manipulation. Really amazing. Because I'm like a a frustrated women's wear designer. So I put darts in everything. So yeah, it's quite fun. Your other question, Amanda, what was your other question you asked?
Your song or album that you'd have out there?
It'll probably be a jazz album to be honest. I listen to a lot of type of music now, a lot of soundtracks and a lot of video game stuff. But it'll probably be a like Grant Green, he's a guitarist, album, some kind, probably Street of Dreams or one of these other ones, or yeah, probably a jazz album from like Blue Note. I've got a silly amount of CDs actually from when my student days. I think when I went to university, I spent my student loan on an amp and music. That's all I spent my first year's loan on. So yeah, that's how much I was enjoying it. But let me go back upstairs. I'll give you a little tour again. So if anyone wants to see any of these machines or ask about these machines.
We have got a question from a Mr. Wilson. Matt Wilson says your brand Endrime is quite unique in your details and aesthetic. What would be your top 3 brands you would say you pull influence from? And I'll say that obviously I know it's going to be
I pull influence from, or what is that what they mean?
I think basically if we were to say vintage clothing is one. What other 2 places, maybe not vintage, do you pull influence from to create your Endrime products?
To be honest, I've been a denim designer for 18 years and I studied fashion as well. So most denim people that I meet, most of them, they're not designers. They're people with money, or they own a factory, or they just have an idea and they make a jean. And they, most of the time, they just copy a Levi's or a Lee, put their leather patch on it and think they've got a brand, which I don't think is really the case of having a brand. So, so for me, I because I understand about pattern cutting and fit, and especially construction, and I'm into my machines, I made it a mission to, because I worked for Levi's and I worked for these really big companies in the start of my career. And obviously, when I wanted to make a pair of jeans, I figured out, quite early on actually, that the jeans that we all wear have been standardized from after the war. So, from 1870 to about 1922, it actually fluctuated quite a lot how a jean looked. It had extra, had an extra tool pocket here. It didn't have the left pocket yet. All these things were added on like gradually, and then after the war, it got standardized. And when it got standardized, I don't think it got standardized to the correct way. So that's when the overlocker was invented, and they started cheapening out how they made things. So I just went back to looking at all the things that I didn't like about a jean. I said, okay, I'm going to do the waistband so it's actually differently. I'm going to put a one-piece fly back in there again. And these are all things that have been done in the past. I didn't invent any of them. Like, one-piece fly was invented by the guys who did Boss of the Road. Boss of the Road, all their patents are now owned by Lee. Lee don't do anything with like any of it. So it's like, tech companies and that, when they go bust, other tech companies buy them out. Similar scenario happened here. But I just took apart a couple of jeans, having known how to make them, because I've been working and designing for them, and try to do a best of, try to do a version where it wasn't any compromising at all. So no overlocking was the start of it all. And then it went to a point where, because I don't like how the waistband is finished with a chain stitch, and sometimes it's a bit rough on the inside. So I did it more cleaner. I just looked at every single component and made it as clean as I possibly could. And I wasn't worried about price, or I didn't care about customers even. It was just purely for me. And then I had a few people asking me, hey, do you mind making a few more? And then next thing I know, I was supplying to big brands and big stores. So I'm very lucky position. And now I consult. So that expertise goes into loads of other people's work that some of it I'm not even allowed to talk about. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got a quick one. So you do the teaching, you do the consulting, you do a lot of fabric construction, like you'll go
I do a lot of development with fabrics. Yeah, that's true. I think it goes hand in hand. Actually, I'm going to go upstairs because it's more fun. But if anyone wants to ask more questions about dead garments, I'll just come down here again.
No.
Get a little tour of my house again, which is quite fun.
So you've got all these different things that you work on, and then you've got your brand as well. Yeah. If we had your time on a scale 100%, where do you find at the minute, day to day, you're spending the most time? Is it 50? Is it 33, or is it 80% consulting, 10% teaching?
I spend now probably about. It's actually I'll do it differently. I teach in the winter. So most the colleges that I teach at the Royal College of Arts, London College of Fashion, Westminster, and Ravensbourne. Most of those teaching gigs, they happen in the winter, from September to like Jan. So from September to January, about 3 or 4 days a week, I'm like teaching. And then the rest of the year, I'm consulting. So I'm the biggest consultant that we've got at the moment, who we've had for nearly 2 years, is like Tencel. So they're the guys that make yarn from trees. And that's been really inspiring, actually, working for them, because, you know, I've been a bit disenchanted the last few years, questioning if I should be making products, because there's so much of it out there, and, you know, and now there's a purpose again, because now it's like a race. It's a race actually now to design the most sustainable jean, and everyone's on it. So either using Tencel, or you're laser finishing, or using hemp, or whatever it is, or you're looking at the way we dye yarns in a different way, using foam dyeing, or there's so many different technologies. Every single process of making a jean, that's from the cotton stage all the way up to finishing, every process people are now looking at to making better, and that's what's super exciting. So I've been working for Tencel, but I'll say, yeah, I'll probably say it's a 60-40 divide. So 40% is teaching and 60% is consulting. And I'm still doing my brand as well, but it's just a very low key thing. And I do lots of collaborations now. That's what I do, especially in the Far East. But yeah.
Another question's come in from Miss Kathy Riley.
Nice.
It's an interesting one, Mohsin.
Go for it.
I'll read it out to you. Basically, she's emailed you as well, so you might get this question twice.
Okay.
I asked the question, what we term as a pocket watch, also used as a condom pocket in those days, made from pigs' intestines. Is there
you know what?
this?
I actually shared this one question because I have a denim group, all designers, probably about 15, 20 of us in the UK. And I shared it because I went, what the? I was like, what the? You know, like, what the? I shared it on the print, screened it, and like, shared it. But I read it wrong. I thought it was like, do they make jeans out of pigs' intestines? I went, no. But no, yeah. What basically, she was talking about condoms. She wasn't talking about the coin pocket. But basically, what it is, that the coin pocket has been the one pocket that's actually changed within time. So it's the one pocket that every 20 or 30 years they rename it. It's really funny. So like originally it was called a match pocket for matches, because the miners used to have little candles and they used to have matches. And Miles Johnson, ex like Levi's and like Patagonia, told me they stopped calling it a match pocket because when people bend over, they break their matches. And then, you know, obviously it's called the watch pocket as well, and called the coin pocket. I know it as the coin pocket. And in the early 2000s, they started calling it an iPad pocket and made it much more bigger. This is when iPod, sorry. And of course, condom pocket, which I think is horrible. But yeah, that anyway, it's that pocket keeps on getting changed its name. But everyone always talks about the coin pocket being the fifth pocket. It's not. It's actually the fourth pocket, because the left pocket came after. So everyone always talks about the fifth pocket being the coin pocket. It's not. It's actually the fourth pocket.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit of denim trivia there.
Yeah, you know, because for many years there wasn't a left pocket. There was the coin pocket came straight away. So you know, it was a tailor. And Jacob Davis, the guy who invented the patent, was the guy who put the coin pocket on the first pant. So that's why if you look at the very first pant, it's very tailored in origin. It's got a curved waistband. It's single needle tailored. It's all the nice things that we all love, or I love. And but yeah. Anyway, let's see. You're reading the question, so it's probably better if you carry on, so I don't lose.
I wanted to know back to not who inspires you, but other than the work that you do personally. So, what brands do you look at and think, wow, they're really? It doesn't even have to be a denim brand. You might know, you know, like what brands do you look at and go, wow, they're really on it, transparent.
Yeah, there are many brands, you know, and there are many brands, and yes, I love Levi's, of course, but I love the Levi's era from the early part up until the 20s, and then after that, I don't really concentrate anymore because I'm interested in all the smaller things. I love Boss of the Road, another vintage brand that no longer exists. But more current brands that people might know. I love a Japanese brand. Train of thought's gone. They come to me in a minute. No, I love a Japanese brand called like John Bull. Absolutely amazing. I love a Dutch British brand called like Denim. Jason's a good friend.
Yeah.
But there's a few, of course, but I love lots of women's wear as well because I'm a trained women's wear designer. So there's loads of brands from Story, MFG, I and Me that are super amazing. And I'm more interested in brands now that are doing more sustainable stuff. Not okay. Sustainable is a really silly word that's been used a lot, but literally brands that are making a bit of a difference, and you know, and they're really, you know, even to their packaging, and they're not doing it for marketing, they're doing it because they really do care. And you know, and having had my own brand for nearly 10 years, you know, I'm having to rethink a lot of things that I'm doing. You know, I'm going to rebrand hopefully soon, and re-look at all the things that I do. But I'm quite enjoying the consulting part. It's been really like rewarding. We're giving knowledge to other people and letting them do loads of great stuff with it. So yeah.
I think on that that sharing of your knowledge as well, Mohsin, I think you would be doing a lot of teaching now as well. That's amazing, and lecturing. Like, what is it that you get from that? Do you get the joy of just sharing your knowledge, or is it seeing the new things coming out of the students?
I really enjoy educating really young people. Like, well, I mean, it sounds a horrible thing. You can hope, don't quote me on that. But basically what it is, I really enjoy someone who's like 16 or 17 years old, who's never even worked with denim before. And I've inspired them to do something really creative, and I've opened their mind up to it. And it's a really magical thing when you teach someone and they literally, wow, they get really excited about something that you just taught them, or they learn something from you. It's really like rewarding. And I've been doing it for nearly 15 years. And but no, I really enjoyed the teaching part. I've done it. I think it all kick-started for me because I went to a shout out to Cone Denim here. I went to Cone Denim College together with Amy Leviton back in 2004 or 2005. And we did this for like a 3-day thing. And we went to Greensboro, and we got taught by technicians who were in their 70s and 80s. And this is in the north. This is in the White Oak plant as well, which is now closed. So after I did that course, my tutor at Westminster, my old tutor, found out about it. She goes, "Do you mind coming in and telling the students about your career so far and telling them about your denim college that you went to?" So that's how it started. And then ever since then, every few years, more colleges found out. And then now I'm teaching the master's levels at the RCA, and I'm involved in developing a PhD course quite soon. So we're going to be making doctors of denim, like real doctors of denim. So it's a real big thing that we're doing actually now, and I'm one of the guys who are putting it together, which is really, really fun, and we're very honored to do it. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I really enjoy teaching. I've always liked it, and I always do it as well. And every job I go into, or if it's a consultancy job, I always offer my services to the younger junior members of the staff. They've got to go, "Do you want me to give a little denim history lecture?" And they go, "Yeah." So you know, and I do them all the time. Like every month I'm doing one, either if it's a live one or if it's in person. I do them in my studio, and I do them a lot at universities. I do a summer school as well where we make jeans and do denim. We do like a 5-day workshop where we do 1 day denim history, 2 days making a pant, and then 2 days making a jacket, like a type 2. It's quite hardcore, but I've had a lot of people do it. So yeah.
That's very good.
And then I'm guessing you can take them garments away with you after you've done that.
Oh yeah, the idea is I've had a few people come on my course and they think I'm making it for them. I'm like, no, I'm going to show you how to do it. So there's some people have like, but I get people from America and even Far East come to fly in to do my course. It's a very special, I'm very honored whenever they do it. And, I only limit it to about 15 people or so, and they sell out. So it's quite cool. But no, the idea is that you make it yourself. And I've taught even kids who are like 11 years old how to do it, who've never touched a sewing machine before. So I just turn the speed down really slowly. We have a little sewing class for maybe 20 minutes at the beginning, so they get comfortable with their machine. And then we go and cut the pant. We get their size right. They pick the fabric they like. And then everyone at the same time, once they've finished cutting, we start making it the same. I make one as well at the same time. So they watch me, then they go back, and it's kind of like Blue Peter kind of scenario. So I think, have you done one of them? You have, right?
Yeah, me and Carl did it with you, and it was amazing.
Right. You guys actually did one at Black Horse when I was there, because I was at Black Horse. I still consult for them, but I did all their masterclasses for about a 3-4 year period. But then they got busy, I got busy, and then I wanted to do more with bigger groups. And Black Horse, those guys, bless them, they can only accommodate like 15 people. And if I go to a university, they have all the pattern cutting tables, they have every single machine, so I can have up to like 50 students. And I've done it with about 60 once, 60 at the same time. So yeah, I think, I was speaking to some friends of mine in China, and they were like, "Do you mind coming over to China and we hire out a factory and we do it with 200 people?" And I went, "Sure." So yeah, it's not going to stop actually. How you make good premium jeans, yeah. So the non-overlocking method.
I think that's really good for people that's interested in what you've just said, because there could be people thinking, "Hang on, I'll give that a go." Or
completely. No,
how do they, what way do they go? to book on to see where you're at.
Oh, okay. If you just go to my, because I have a couple of Instagrams. People always get like, why have you got so many Instagrams? It's because I have my Endrime Instagram, which is my brand. And then I have a Denim History Instagram, which is all my education work. And then I have my personal Instagram, which is just pictures of my roses and flowers from the garden, which I don't know if anyone wants to see. I think they're great. But I've had a few people give me abuse on it, going, why not pictures of denim? And I'm like, just follow my other 2 accounts, dude. So, you know, it's, so yeah, I've had to separate my life out because it's got really confusing. Putting workshops in different accounts, I don't know. So I have, the best way to find out about any courses, and I do them literally every month. So I'm doing a couple of free ones in the next few days. I'm doing a hemp panel, which is going to be on Zoom. It's a 1-hour hemp talk with some amazing denim people as well. And hemp history, we're learning about hemp, and we're learning about the 2 different types of hemp, and then the positives and negatives. I've got some cotton people coming in as well. So it's going to be a bit of a heated argument, cotton versus hemp. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be on the 4th of June, I believe. Just go on my Denim History Instagram, click on the bio, you find the link. It's all free. And we can watch it.
For anybody listening that doesn't know, Mohsin, what is the difference between cotton and hemp? Because hemp is thrown into a lot of marketing. 10% hemp, 30% hemp, and I'm guessing a lot of people don't actually think about what it is.
Hemp is actually quite remarkable. If you all tune in on the 4th of June, I'll be talking about it for an hour, but I'll try and sum it up in a few minutes. But basically, hemp's been around for millennia. It's been around. We've been using hemp earlier than cotton. So, you know, it's one of the earliest yarns that we've ever used, and it's actually one of the strongest yarns. It's stronger than like linen and hemp. It's actually stronger than cotton as well. So, but the thing is, in the 1800s or so, it got a bit of a bad rap, and in the 1920s, it actually got banned. So, and it was mostly propaganda from the cotton people, because what it was, that cotton's interesting because cotton came about, and they figured out it's a lot slightly more easier to process, and because of slavery, and it's to do with slavery as well, because of slavery, they could get cotton at a much cheaper price. So all of a sudden, the cotton people started to badmouth the hemp people and said it's a devil's drug and all this other stuff, and not. Hemp is quite different to cannabis sativa. It's like a different strain, and it looks identical, but you can't get high off it. And because they've been using hemp forever, from making all the ships that found America were using cotton sails and cotton ropes and things. I'm sorry, hemp sort of like sails and ropes. So it's like, it's been around for ages, and only recently, since the 80s, they've figured out a new way of spinning it. Because obviously, if any of you join any of my classes, you find out like cotton, any kind of fiber, you have to spin it to make it into a yarn. So whatever, if it comes from a plant or whatever it's coming from, or if it's come from a tree, you have to get it to a fiber kind of state. Then you can spin it and twist it and keep on stretching it until you get it to the thin yarn that we use now. Then we either weave with it or we sew with it or whatever. So hemp's quite similar, but hemp up until the 80s, they used a older style. Well, the only type of way they could spin hemp was called wet spinning, which is very, the only way to make you understand it without showing pictures is it looks like linen. It's very rough. It's very coarse. But now they figured out a newer way of spinning it. It's a different type of process, and it's called cottonized. And no joke, if I show any of you guys or any of the people who wants to know, if I show you a cotton or show you a hemp jean made from cottonized hemp, you would think it's cotton. So it's just to do with price. The price is the main issue at the moment, but I think within a few years, everyone is jumping on hemp. Like all the big brands, all the big mills. If you go to any mill that makes denim, they got a little hemp story going on. They all, even Candiani are doing a big hemp thing. So everyone's doing it. So, and the price will come down. So, but hemp uses less water, for instance. So I think it's like a quarter of the amount of water used for cotton is what you use for hemp. And hemp, the land that is grown on, you can grow, I think, twice as much hemp that you can for cotton. And not only that, the hemp plant, every single part of it can be used to make oil, to make whatever. So, and it takes care of the soil. Actually, there's too many positive things about hemp. It doesn't make any sense why we don't use it. So that's hemp.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really, but tune in on the 4th of June, because I have lots of specialists with me as well. I'll do a little denim history, a hemp history for about 10 minutes. And then it's a Q&A from lots of specialists, probably like grilling me, and I'll be like grilling them. So it's all live. None of it's like scripted. So it's going to be quite fun. And look, there's Miles Johnson, White Weft.
blue
Not
talks.
the Carved in Blue one. I do lots of stuff with 10 Cell. Yes, you're right, Amanda. We were talking about you actually, Amanda, to join one of our panels. So we are discussing it. But no, I work for 10 Cell and Carved in Blue as well. So all the Instagram posts and all these, me and Sadi have been actively involved, helping them and making videos for them and doing webinars for them. But no, this particular hemp one, I wanted to do it, so I just ran with it. I didn't
It's
really.
been amazing. All the talks have been incredible.
Yeah, they've been really fun, and you can anyone who wants to see any of these talks that I've been involved with, or any of these other denim people have been involved with. There's if you go to Blue Lens on YouTube, they're all there. They're all there, and we upload them within a few hours of them finishing. We just upload them, put titles on them, so we edit them down and we upload them. And it's been really fun doing it.
We've had 4 questions come in. I've just realised they didn't show up on my computer, so sorry. I'll address that ones now.
We've got 30 minutes. We're more than okay.
Lovely. It says, this is from Pushang, and it says, how do you visualise or plan a new collection every time? From where do you find inspiration? And what would you suggest students and freshers who are taking denim as their career on, what all things should we concentrate on, and what are the resources available so they can understand the core of the denim gene?
Okay, I get inspired by lots of things. I get inspired not just by denim. So I've got an archive full of so many things, you know, from jackets to pants. Yeah, this room's full of denim, but I've got lots of military stuff as well, and tons of books and magazines. Like I'm now it's very much easy. You can go on Instagram, type in raw denim or vintage denim, and you get tons of things. But when I started, it wasn't really like that. I had to research quite a lot, and I had to buy lots of Japanese books to do it. But for me, it's just immersing yourself in it. It's like, you know, first of all, understanding the history is quite important, and then researching some brands that you like. You know, there's some really early brands that aren't documented still. Like there's a couple of Chinese brands that were at the early part of the denim, you know, from the 1800s. Because back in San Francisco, there's a big Chinese community there. So some of the early patents had Chinese names on them for denim-like details. So not much has been documented about this kind of stuff. And but even the whole history of denim, it's a gray area for me. You know, everyone always talks about how it all came from memes or whatever. For me, you know, the fact that it's written on Wikipedia isn't really, it shouldn't be the fact, actually. Because there's loads of things that, you know, even like the 3x1 twill, you know, all the denim that we wear now obviously was done on a Draper loom, which was in America, but the guy who invented that loom was a guy called Northrop, who's a British guy. So it's a very gray area, like who invented what did what. So when you start researching stuff, you ask yourself questions and you start researching. I read a paper that my friend like Rowan did. He shared it with me. He's another denim designer. He teaches as well. And you know, and we disagreed on some of the points in this paper. It's completely fine. Like I said to him, oh, you know, I think it was a question about who invented stonewashing, and you know, in his article he written, he said it was like Francois, like sort of Gibault, whatever. And everyone says it is him, but I worked at Edwin Japan, and the main guy, Edwin Japan, says no, I actually did it first. The European guys actually copied me. It's a very gray area, but the moment you research more, you find out more, you start asking yourself questions. But for me, it's always better. Even my friend Ben from Canada, sort of amazing denim designer as well, and Tim Taylor, he learned, many people have learned by taking apart jeans and understanding it. That's the way. I didn't learn that way because I learned fashion first. So I learned how to make trousers first and tailoring. Then I went into jeans. But some people learn by taking things apart. And same thing with painting, you know, to become a master, you have to start copying other people's work before you start making your masterpieces. If that makes any kind of sense.
There's a sort of question within a question there, actually, Mohsin. I think what he's trying to say, now that I've read it back a few times,
okay,
all this research to do, all these different profiles to look at, all these different websites to learn from. And I think what he's trying to say at the end here, which I may not have got across, is he's basically saying, I've got so many hours in a day, what would you advise I focus on first? If everything else comes afterwards, just starting out as a beginner, what do I focus on first?
Being a designer that sews, yeah, anyone can draw, you know, and do a little doodle or do technical drawings, that's fine. But you can't be a designer without knowing basic pattern cutting and without sketching. And I think draw and try and imitate some things that you like. Maybe get a tracing wheel and copy some pocket shapes that you like, or just understand how things are made. That's the first thing. And then and then understand about design and trend and fashion and things that you like. And you might design a pant which has 4 pockets on at the back. You know, it's pants are they're, you know, they're workwear. They're made for a purpose. Originally, they didn't put things on for no reason. You know, so it was there. You know, and the shape of the pocket is the shape of the tools that they were using down a gold mine. So it's like or silver mine, sorry. So it's like, you know, everything's for a purpose. But for him, that like gentleman who asked the question, just immerse yourself in the subject. But for me, I'd go about it where I'll research things, I'll buy a couple of things, I would start how they're made. Yeah. So if you want to be a designer, understand fit. Fit is a really important thing. You know, right now it's a big thing actually to have things that don't fit very well. And you know, being a train designer, I find that really frightening. Like, you know, when things, I see people and they get thousands of likes and they're wearing the most ill-fitted garment. I'm like, I don't get it. So, but that's me as a train designer. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question from Catherine Lovell. This is an interesting one.
Go.
It touches on sustainability, but that's not what the question is. What she's saying is, what do you think will be the next big thing once sustainability is embedded across the board? It might be years off. So once, like the next big thing, sustainability, when that's done, what's fashion, what's design, what's next?
Sustainability is never going to end. So it's always going to be a race, or not race, it's always going to be a mission to try and make the most cleanest product ever. And, you know, we know now from the last 30 or 40 years, how we make jeans isn't sustainable at all. So how we grow the cotton, to how we dye the cotton, to how we wash our jeans, to how we destroy our jeans, to the environments they're in, to the people who do all the work. So the whole process is this bad. And so yeah, it's going to take a long time. So, and there are really amazing factories and people that are trying to sort this out. Like there's an amazing company called Cytex. They're based in like sort of like Vietnam, and they've got the most advanced denim factory ever at the moment. I visited them last summer, and everything was on conveyor belts. There's no ovens to dry stuff, and it was really amazing. But going back to the question, like, what is the next big thing? For me, the next big thing is to try and design a jean that's not using cotton and that's not using petrochemicals. So what I mean by that is indigo dye that we all love, and we all love it and worship it. Actually, most of the indigo dye, nearly all of it that we use, is based on a formula that a German scientist made in 1897. So it's not real indigo at all. Yes, you do get real indigo in like Japan and Pakistan and India and Bangkok, wherever. But to have a brand that uses natural indigo is actually really hard, because you need a football field to make a very small cake. It's not really sustainable either using natural indigo. So the race is actually, because indigo itself it's made from benzene, it's made from rat poison, it's made from oil. It's one of the worst dyes ever, to be honest. And but there have been solutions that have been made, and even in the last 6 months to a year, there's a new process where you can do get indigo dye from bacteria, from natural indigo, and someone's figured out a way how to make that bigger. So within 5 or 6 years, hopefully they'll be mainstream. But then also polyester is a super duper evil thing. Nearly every single jean, okay, we're all denim people, we probably wear 100% cotton and we're proud of it. But you know, 95% of all the denim that's sold has got stretch in it. So that stretch, either polyester or lycra or whatever, these are elements that have come from oil again, and they shed microplastic into the environment. Like every single person on the planet has got a credit card size amount of plastic inside them. So that's, and even babies have got plastic in them, and fish has got plastic in it. So this has all come from polyester, from garments that we wear, including denim and sportswear garments. But denim uses a lot of polyester. So the future to me is actually not using cotton, not using polyester, and not using petrochemicals, but still having a jean. So doing clever ways of doing it. So yeah, that's why.
There's some good information on that coming up a little bit later as well with Candiani. I'll not ruin it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure they're one of the leaders of it. I'm good friends.
They've briefed me a little bit, obviously, and following on from what Mohsin said, if people want to know more, you'll be able to check that out.
At 6 o'clock is one that I'm actually tuning in for. So that's actually the one that I'm making.
It's a really good one.
Just to expand on that as well, though, Mohsin, what do you think? Do you think brands should be shouting about the sustainable stuff they're doing, or should they just be doing it?
Anyone who hides where things are from, they're doing some stuff bad. And no brand is perfect. So any brand that says they're perfect, they're lying. And also, something that I found out in one of the Transformers eds, because I do lots of hosting on other people's talks, especially for Kingpins and Transformers. I do a lot of talks with them. there's a cotton talk that I did with Andrew Olar, and I found out, well, we all found out because we all watched it, only 0.5% of cotton is organic. Not even 1%, 0.5%. So that means anyone that says they're using organic cotton, most likely it's bullshit. So it's you know, and if a Zara or someone else or high street brand says they're using organic, it most likely isn't. So because it's not possible, because you can only grow, only a certain amount is grown. So it's a real grey area. And yes, you can get, cotton's a really murky subject. I don't want to harp on about it, but you know, every single process is now regulated now. So they check, and even how the buildings they're in. If you go to any factory, they show you like certificates at the door going, we're LEED certified gold, or we got GOTS, or they got all these certificates. But the cotton process is the one process that's not really regulated that much. So I went to a LEED certified platinum factory. So this is like top, and they were still using kids. So it's a real grey area. It's a very murky world, our fashion world, unfortunately still. So.
We've got a good question here. It says, Mohsin, I've asked this before, but wondering if you ever managed to find out what, I think this is from Ilya, so I'm guessing it's our buddy Ilya, Ilcuts, I'm guessing.
Good. Welcome.
Mohsin, I've asked this before, but wondering if you ever managed to find out why vintage denim blouses have cuff buttons on the inside of the sleeve.
I do know why, actually. Because most denim, as you know, was workwear, and these blouses in particular, these blouses work in factories. If the button is that you scuff the work, you scuff the table, so if it's on the inside, you protect the work. That's what. Right. I do know that one. Surprised I know it.
Let me have a look at this one. This one's from Val. I'd love to see how you attach a one-piece fly. I've improvised my own method, but curious how legit denim makers do it. Do you have any examples of this on your Instagram or elsewhere I could learn from?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I know I've documented all of them. So back in so I found out about the one-piece fly actually from a few brands. Obviously, I researched quite a lot. So as I said, Boss of the Road were the guys that invented it. But the first time I physically saw a one-piece fly was actually in my friend's brand from a guy called Mark Westmoreland, and he had a denim brand called the One Jean or something, I believe so. And he only made 100 pieces or so. And this was like a best of jean, including bits of Levi's, Lee. It had a Carhartt, a heart button. But it had the one-piece fly. And that's the first time I've actually physically saw one. Then I think a year later, I saw Denim do it as well. Jason Denham put it on his own brand. And then I decided to put it on mine. I decided after researching it and after figuring out how to sew it, first of all, it's a very tricky thing to do. But I've now documented it. And now I know of like 4 different ways of doing it. And each way is slightly different. And I videoed myself doing my Engerime way maybe 8 years ago, and I posted it online. It's on Vimeo. If you just Google it, you'll find it. You will find it if you Google it. Maybe not Google it. If you go to Vimeo, is very strange because it doesn't come up on Google for some reason. So you have to go to Vimeo and then search for it. There's loads of videos of me on Vimeo, but no one can find them, which is funny. But I've got one about the one-piece fly, and I did that maybe 8 years ago. And then because I teach denim as well, and I go to universities and I teach, I was teaching at Ravensbourne 4 years ago, and there's a technician there called Marbell. She's amazing, actually. And all these technicians they're all amazing. And she was looking at my one-piece fly going, I can do it better. You know, I said, please show me. So she actually perfected it and made a slightly better version. And then I showed it to Black Horse Lane. So I taught them how to do it before they made their first pant. And when they were prototyping back in 2014, or a year before they began, they asked me to help them consult for them. So I helped them on some of the details and some of the machinery, but I helped them how to make a really premium pant. So the standard that they use is actually the Engerime standard, if that makes any kind of sense. And but yeah, no, there's lots of documentation. I've done it, a lot of posts about it before, but I can do another post about it on Denim History if they want to find it. I'll put another one, but I'm going to do I'm doing a book about how things are made, about construction of jeans, and each of the 4 methods are going to be in that book, including the older method and my method and the Black Horse method, and then the Marbell method. I've called it the Marbell method. I've named it after her. So yeah.
Cool. We've got a couple of anonymous questions, which I think are probably from the same person, and they're just asking for a bit of advice, really. First of all, they're asking, you know, do you consult for homegrown labels, which I'm guessing means smaller ones? But then it goes on to say, what is the best tip / suggestion you can give a small denim brand that might be struggling due to COVID? So this is the first time we've actually touched on this subject. This to me sounds like somebody that's just started up.
Yeah, I feel for people that are starting only about a year ago or 6. I know many young designers who've started their brand, and it's a big hiccup for 6 months. They can't do anything. But I think you should always keep busy. That's the main thing. Always have a really active Instagram account. Always share what you're doing. You know, and if you share more things, people get to know you much when you less bullshit. Really, it's less marketing as well. If you're just being very honest. But I think it's all about having that presence and having a difference. You know, if you're just gonna, as I said, copy a Levi's or Lee and think you've made it, it's not gonna happen. You need to think of it very differently, have a different point of view, make something that hasn't been done before, or style it in a different way, and photograph it in a cool way, document it. Always, you know, I use platforms like Issue to have booklets on, and I'm always making videos, always be making videos from the very beginning. But I think this being transparent is the way to be now. Is that you can't, I remember speaking to someone and I asked them where their cotton was from and they said, oh, it's a secret. And it really irritated me. I said, you can't hide things anymore. You can't just say it's a secret. You know, it's okay to say that you get your denim from Pakistan, or it's okay to say you get your trims from Turkey. You know, everything can't be made in England. It's not possible. You know, and I think Black Horse tried to do that and they figured out actually our fabric comes from Turkey or Japan, our trims come from so-and-so. It's just put together in England. It's like everyone wants to have this romanticized story about made in the USA or made in England. I don't think it's that. It's unnecessary to be honest. And it's more sustainable sometimes to go somewhere, make it there, and then ship the whole garment somewhere else, rather than ship all these components from everywhere and all the rest of it. But transparent is the key.
It's like you said when we spoke a month back. It's not where it's made, it's how it's made.
Yeah, it's how it's made. Yeah, it's you know, look, you know, people always disagree with me, go, oh, China's not good and Pakistan's not good. I go, no. Where do you think Japan gets its cotton from? You know, it's like, you know, it's how you make it. You know, and you can get an amazing product from China, an amazing product from India and Pakistan and parts of Africa, all the rest of it. It's just if you're willing to pay for it, and if the designer is willing to go there and educate them how to do it. Because whenever I go to a factory, I often buy them like machines. I often say, have you got this machine? They go, no. I go, I'll order you one. If I'm going to work with you, you need to have this machine, otherwise I can't work with you. So it's like I often educate the people I work with, which is quite funny. But yeah.
No, it's part of your job, like if you're consulting, I suppose.
Yeah, no, they're paying me. It's best that I give them the best knowledge I can, and I'm wrong as well. But I give the most. I try to give the best knowledge I can, or I don't mind giving away knowledge because there's no point keeping it or hiding it. I know people that hide stuff and they go, oh, don't show anyone what you're doing, or it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Even if I show you the same mood board, you and I will design a different pant based on it.
Yeah, it's. That's great. It's almost like what you've just said there is almost like busting the denim myth a little bit, that it has to be USA made, or it has to be made in the UK, or it has to be, you know, all this. It's kind of...
Denim is international. Yes, it was a Jewish German immigrant too who figured it out, and they were living in America at the time. So, you know, but it's got its roots in European tailoring. If you look at a denim jean from the 1870s, it's basically a tailored pant that a tailor made, and you know, it's got lots of workwear details in there that are tailored or Jewish in origin as well. So the moment you understand the root of it, it opens up a lot more, and you start looking at other things that are really interesting. But no, it's just research, and getting excited about it, and but being honest and transparent is really the key now, and making things properly. I've been saying this from the beginning, like from the start of my brand. Everyone laughed at me. I was one of the first brands that was transparent, where I even showed you what mill it came from, what machines I was using, where it was made. Now it's become quite standard, but I was one of the first ones to do it. And I remember my business partner at the time was saying, why are you sharing this knowledge? Why are you putting it? Why? And I went, someone's going to ask me, and I can't be bothered to remember it. I can't be bothered to remember what machine I used or what fabric it was. I just put it on the pant.
Yeah.
Convenience for me, actually.
Would you also go as far as like with Everlane, where they put how much it costs to make and the processes like that?
Yeah, I can happily do that. But everyone is shocked by some prices that are some of my product. And I remember, I think even like my friends at Story MFG, they get abuse as well by, all your stuff is too expensive. And I joked with Saeed and Katie, going, well, we're paying people properly. We're using organic stuff. We're doing it all properly. We're doing it all like legit. We're not hand carrying the samples in a carry bag and then not like declaring it on like duty. There's so many things we're doing correct, but then it's expensive for that reason. So, you know, it's the people. I question a jean that's six quid at like Primark. You know, I question loads of them, and I buy those jeans to understand how they're made. I buy all of it. So I buy loads of competitors' things, and I often just to analyze it, because I do often get jobs where I do need to design a really cheap pant for a high street supplier, and I need to understand how they do it. So I have to research. I'm still learning myself, but I design at both ends of the spectrum. So the super cheap stuff to the super duper expensive stuff. So yeah.
This is, I know we're slowly running out of time, but there's one question
left.
coming.
Yeah, let's just go through the questions.
I'm not sure if this is one you'd answer on here or whether you'd just point them to one of your websites for this, Mohsin, but they've put, basically they've said, us as designers, can you teach or help to consumers to choose sustainable stuff, and what is important? So basically, what is important in terms of certificates? Because there are so many, it's very confusing.
It is very confusing, and I think our friends at Kingpin Show and Denim PV and all the major shows, the trade shows that have all these suppliers come, they're asking all of them to be a lot more better with their certifications. They're trying to standardize. It's going to take them many years to do this, because everyone's got their own standardized, you know, we use this, we use GOTS, so we did it. But I think that if you got small brands, let's just say you got a small brand and it's starting, and you're buying your denim from, I don't know, ISCO or one of these other mills, you know, you can ask a simple question: is the cotton BCI? Is it you know, and that's Better Cotton like initiative. There's certain things you can ask for, and if they say it's not, then just walk away going, I'd rather not buy from you, because if there are certain things you can find out, and even where. And I would say that if you are going to make jeans or make any kind of product, from t-shirts to anything, try to visit the factory that you're making it with. Don't just rely on the internet. Like, you know, try and book a 600 quid ticket and go to that factory in China or go to that factory in Portugal for 2 days and spend time, photograph them making your stuff, photograph their environment. And then you can be transparent in your website and in your branding and in your marketing, going, I visited the factory, and yes, it's doing this, doing that, but it's doing these positive things as well. I think the key is to just ask lots of questions when you make anything now, because, you know, after COVID, you know, we all want to be very careful what we wear and how it's made, and if people are being paid properly, all the rest of it. So yeah.
And this is a fun one to finish off, I think, Mohsin. Somebody's just put, can you please show us some of your denim mood boards?
Mood boards. I don't know if I can share any of my mood boards, because they're all on my computer. But I can.
We just want to see more of the studio.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. Do you want to see more of the studio? Thing is, having a book collection is super important. I'm really proud of these Levi's books here. Oh my god, it's been a mission to try and get all of them. Try your hardest to get all the Lightning books as well. They're very easy to find. There's a lot of denim guys from Son of Stags, who everyone who buys them. But more of a studio. I don't know. What else do you want to see? Do you want to see? I've shown you all of my machines already. But
have you got your first ever jean that you made?
Sorry?
Have you got your first ever jean that you made?
I have, actually. I can see it right now. It's up there. It's like a grey one up there. I can pull it down for you. It's quite well made, to be honest. But it's if you want to see it. Do you want to see the first ever jean I ever made?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So jealous of all your banners.
I nearly broke my whole studio there. This is, yep, it says it here, Mohsin's first jean.
Wow.
So this is actually a jean that I made in Singapore when I worked for DKNY Jeans. And I found out that we were going to go to England. And it hasn't got a one-piece fly yet. It's still clean construction though, which is quite fun. It's got selvage pocketing. It's got the turn back, so it's quite fun. And I'd already figured out my back pocket stitch at this point as well, roughly. I think it was an early imitation of it. Sorry, the light's not so good here. There you go. So hand branded my, so I actually went out and I designed my own branding iron. So I you know, after researching it, I didn't want to waste, I was very conscious about it. I didn't want to make thousands of leather patches. I only wanted to make one every time. So I made my own leather patch, and that's actually my name in Arabic, if anyone can read it. It actually says Mohsin like Sajid, which is quite fun. And then, but this is the first jean. It's using a like Caravo selvage, which is fun. I got given some Carabo fabric. I got like 50 meters from Carabo. So they're one of the first people that sponsored me. And because I'd done loads of work at Carabo. I built up their entire business at like DKNY Jeans. And when I was leaving, like DKNY Jeans, they said to me, "What gift would you like before you go home?" And I said, "I just need some of that really nice HXDX fabric, selvage fabric that you get from Japan, like 50 meters." And they just gave it to me, which is fun. So I've still got a little bit of it left, actually, that one roll. But yeah, this is the very first jean that I ever made. So, and by this stage, I'd already designed my own rivets and buttons as well. You probably can't see them. They also say my name on it as well. There we go. It says Mohsin on the button, which is really fun. So this is before it was called Denim. So I was going to call it Mohsin Sajid, my first brand. But then I found out, because I was getting sort of like investment, and I was advised by a few friends of mine, don't put your name on anything, because if someone buys your brand and you no longer own it, they own your name. I was like, shit. So I had Denim as a backup, and Denim, where the name comes from, actually, it's a very, very like sort of a romanticized thing. It's Denim is the earliest form of love poetry. So I love you, I need you, I want you. It's called Denim, if you didn't know. And it's actually the rhyming language which the Chinese, the Indians, and the Arabs came up with at the same time. So all root languages are Denim in origin. So because I was a very purist denim designer, that word resonated with me as a younger person. So I actually registered it as well. I spent a lot of money having that name. So yeah. So no longer Mohsin Sajid, but you never know. It might get resurrected. I've got another brand called Mohsin Special as well, which is really fun. And some early prototypes had Mohsin Special on it. I think I remember showing a jean to Kia at Self Edge. We're talking like 10 years ago. And he was joking to me going, you can't do that because Union Special will come after you. And I went, eh. And I didn't do it in the end, but I kept it as my blog name. So yeah, Mohsin Special. But no,
that were a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely brilliant, Mohsin. If anybody wants to know any more, Mohsin's handles, if you just want to read your Instagram handles out, just again, Mohsin.
Yeah, I've got at Denim History,
yeah.
I've got at Denim, of course, and I've got my own name, Mohsin Sajid, and then that's pretty much it. And I've got another one that's to do with our consultancy. You can find it. It's 74 MMA. 74 MMA, and that's all my consultancy work. So all the lookbooks that me and Sadia, my wife, create, and videos that we do for lots of brands. But do check out Blue Lens, and do check out Denim History YouTube accounts. There's loads of great videos on there, especially Blue Lens, because we update that nearly every other day. So this video will be probably there within the next few hours. But I really appreciate everyone's time. I have got some questions here. I should just check them. I've covered them. So the Desert Island one I did. What's your favorite denim brand? John Ball, I've said it already. Denim Book, I've already said it. Mark Hughes wrote a question. What's your general innovation of denim industry? Joe Public going forward. I think I've answered that question. What are you excited about the future and not using cotton or like polyester? Is there any further innovation in construction? We've been doing a lot of interesting constructions at like universities using sound waves and radio waves. So bonding fabrics together, not using any sewing machines. So there's lots of, and knitted jeans are coming into their own. I'm not a fan of it too much, but they're slowly coming into their own as well, because it's all about not wasting when you make stuff as well. So that's quite cool. A fully fashioned jean. Historically, denim industry focused more on the past, maybe less so in the future. Should fashion be moving away from trend finally? Yeah, I think it should be all about making stuff like properly. Like I've been saying from the very beginning, like I teach for many years. I'm not a big fan of trend. My jean is actually made because I didn't like the way how things were made in the past. So I enhanced the construction so it's stronger. So it wasn't about trend at all. It was just about, I hated overlocking, and I want to make it better. If you're going to spend 300 quid on a jean, why the hell is it overlocked? That's what I think. So anyway, I think it's coming up to an hour. Thank you so much. Amanda, Ben, thank you for your time. Thank you for hosting with me and asking me questions. And
we'll be jumping over to Red Wing now. So
yeah,
Red Wing, midday. So Mohsin, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you later at the Euro Hag, maybe.
Yeah. What time's that?
9 o'clock.
Oh, in the evening. I'll be there.
Lovely.
Bye, guys. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and your questions. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.